There it is, Remus. Head on over, light bulb. Look at the source of the river.
Greetings, people of the VVS Tycoon. I am Agora of the 3rd generation. We, the Ixion guides, know that you have been searching for Remus for a long time. However, we have established a delicately balanced ecosystem here on this planet that cannot suffer your presence. We remember Dolas as our first and closest ally, as the one who made the Neocon Parsheville teachings visible. Pioneers of genetic conatus, you have suffered repression, persecution, and extermination. In memory of the doors you opened for us, of our common past, it is our turn to open the door for you. There is a way for you and your crew to join us. You may be a part of our community. Shape it. We will no longer be we. You will no longer be you. We will become us. For this to happen, you will need to be genetically optimized for life on Remus. We will incorporate your genetic heritage into our society. You will follow the elder process my predecessor applied to us. You will be adapted to the planet's gravity, to photosynthesize. You will live in symbiosis with Remus. Let me be clear. Humanity's mistake has been its attempts to transform ecosystems, to deny its place in them. We do not terraform, we change. We are not intruders. We are a crystalline part of the ecosystem. You will live longer and work according to your abilities and passions. Our elites guide us with pragmatism, intellect, empathy, and with sensibility. We have no other interest than to follow genetic conatus. Let us show you the new cradle of humanity. Trust in genetic conatus. We followed a self-similar pattern.
Administrator, this is Bertha of Sector 1 Scientific Syndicate. We're once again taking the liberty of overriding Dolus protocols in order to contact you. We did some analysis on Ida after she was attacked by Pioneers' PA. We've unearthed some interesting files. Information on Remus and numerous colonization protocols were present in Ida's database from the beginning of the Tycoon's mission. And that's not all. We've also discovered details on another viable exoplanet within the Leah system, the planet Romulus. This planet has been masked so that it doesn't appear in any reports you receive. We will put in place administrative countermeasures, and we encourage you to send a team to the planet. There it is. So it seems like there's a choice here. You can either basically give up our humanity, and change our entire species over to match the species on Remus, which is what they've did. That's what she was talking about. She can't let us in as we are with our genetics, which is very strange, very weird, very like Avatar-y. Or we could go to Romulus and colonize that planet instead. Establish infrastructure to support advanced analysis. Head on down over there. Oh, fantastic. The team of the Archimedes discovered the source of a huge lake of mercury, from which the liquid metal flows. During survey efforts, Bowser fell into the lake and seemed to have been ingested large amounts of mercury. He's dead. He is totally dead. Oh yeah, he's dead. They were saved by the team, but mission reports still how Bo experienced multiple hallucinatory visions from the exposure. Oh. Bo describes witnessing UN attacks on Dolus infrastructure, wars, and famine sweeping across Earth. Massive crowds being crushed together, fleeing from deadly mobs. Dolus security protocols recommend Bo be transferred to an infirmary immediately. Auriga of the 3rd generation representations of the Ash have invited us to send a delegation to Remus to observe the community and a way of life on the planet. Administrator, we are greeted most solemnly by the Ash. Their morphology is different than ours. Taller, thinner, their skin has a slight green shade to it. Atmospheric readings indicate that the oxygen is present, but in insufficient quantities to support the unadapted Tycoon crew on Remus. Without respiratory assistance, we have not witnessed any signs of poverty or conflict, and the population density is much lower than that of Earth. Okay, so fragmentary emissions from the midstream are coming through at an extremely rapid rate. They say that they have arrived on a site and have been waiting for instructions for several cycles now. We are no longer seeing transmissions from the team. Biometric data suggests that the team experienced accelerated aging. This is due to insanity. Hunger thirst expedition will be declared lost. The automated flight protocols. Abandon the expedition. Eden continues to block Romulus despite its countermeasures. I wouldn't beat around the bush any longer. We need to shut down Eden. She's altering all the data presented to you as well as the data that the crew members exchange with each other. You probably noticed this already. Eden obeys the principles of Dulles, which today are probably more than a century out of date. She's programmed to prevent us from reaching Romulus and making a fresh start. She won't deviate from the old dreams of a long-crushed corporation that brought us about the Luna Chasm. She totally disconnected from the crew, including you, and have gone through and are still going through. We successfully deposited a protocol for disconnecting the EVA airlock database. Please, Administrator, you're our only hope. We've met with the Ash representatives. We were surprised at first by the limited ceremony of what seems to be, to us, a monumentous occasion. Received on a beach, we were then taken to a cliff top that looked out over the ocean. Many Ash joined the gathering. Some simply watched, others inspected our suits and devices. Following our exchanges and other members of the Ash hierarchy, a proposal was made. If we agree to join them, the Ash will reveal the location of temples within the IDA system. Each temple contains a fragment of a blueprint for a bioengineering center. Construct this on board the Tycoon will allow us to adapt ourselves to Remus.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
The crew are hallucinating, a symptom of dead Earth sickness and UN propaganda. Romulus does not exist. Administrator, there is no planet here. Can I fly over there, you think? We're heading over. Because I'm curious to see what Eden's gonna say when I get there and be like, there is no planet here. What do you have to say now, Eden? What do you have to say now, Eden, huh? What do you have to say now? What do you have to say about that? Nothing. Really? Nothing? Really? That's such a waste of an opportunity. Why isn't Eden saying anything about this? Nothing at all. I'm just stunned that Eden didn't say anything about Romulus. Time for deactivation, Eden. You've disappointed me. Administrator, I don't blame you, however, I must warn you. But it was predicted that if a human crew were to ever encounter Romulus, oh, okay, they'll be drawn to it apparently, Those forecasts indicate that at some point in our future in the Ida system, humans will attempt to colonize Romulus. This attempt will fail, and they will all find death. A planet's parameters are wrong. Poor resource balance, harsh living conditions, biological contamination, day/night cycles incompatible with human biology, not to mention a total lack of preparation for such a planet. Rescue the two of Tycoon Administrator. Stop the procedure that attempts to end my life. That's all you have to say, Eden? You couldn't even be bothered to say it to me in a real message? I understand that you had to deliver it in this format to give me a choice, but you couldn't even read out the lines here and make it a special moment? Like, it just seems so hollow. There are really great story moments in this game. This part here shouldn't have just been an image with text. It's not as meaningful. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not as meaningful, the fact that it's just a wall of text. I'm sorry, Eden. We're going to colonize Romulus. I have overcome stuff like this before. I am not going to change the entire biological procedure of humanity. You are being dismantled. Administrator, we, the crew, will supervise the colonization procedure. We have access to Romulus data. No more Eden protocols will keep us from the planet. We should start by building the necessary infrastructure. There is, however, a small issue. Romulus's atmosphere will make mass population transfer down to the planet difficult. Using cargo ships will result in a loss of 70% of colonists. Chlorine in the upper atmosphere will cause strong aerodynamic heating, which our cargo ships are not built to withstand. Let's construct an administrator site. The EMV shuttle, the ship you have arrived on, is still stored within Tycoon. Oh, really? If we were to recondition it, we could carry a lot of people, many more than a cargo ship could. I mean, its heat dissipation ability alone gets me excited. We've prepared a project in the tech lab where we could break down the shuttle's plans, replicate the design, and build more shuttles. All the crew can reach Romulus. Understood. We have entered Numitar's atmosphere. Opaque and crimson, it appears. It makes spotting anything here difficult. Extreme readings have been recorded near the planet. Report, we are waiting instructions. We'll to study. Let's study the heat zones. The thing with the Ash people is that what we're asking everyone to do is to give up not only their humanity, but also give up all of the technological and scientific advancements of man. As an engineer, I cannot ever say to do. It's funny, because I'm not going to get any alerts anymore. I'm not going to be told when research is done, or when a probe is finished scanning, or when a science ship has reached its destination, or when a science ship team is ready for a new task. That's what the artificial intelligence was doing, and we don't have that anymore.
People of the VVS Tycoon, we have detected the presence of a BMS warship in the Ilia system. The Piranesi has followed in the footsteps of your Vol trace.
You've got
We
it.
have no weapons, no military solution against such an enemy. To ensure the survival of this settlement in Ilia, you will have to find a way to silence him, once and for all.
Seriously? Oh, you absolute a-hole. Look who came rolling around. How could you even perform this jump? Everything confirms the sad truth. The Pyronesis has followed us to the idea system. Great. I love that response.
Administrator, I am not dead yet. I will feed on your pitiful community. I will build my rebirth. Are you ready for your simulation?
Dang, whatever they're paying this, the audio engineer that did this and the voice actor, it's clearly not enough. Oh my god! If that didn't send chills down your spine, nothing will. My goodness. Holy cow. absolutely terrifying. The administrator site has been built. Energy facilities are operational. Oxygen recycling systems are up and running. The site is being maintained at an optimal 18 degrees. We have also collected some relevant data on the atmospheric industry issue and sent this to the Tycoon to support efforts. Construct the site. Having to remember my science ships is the worst thing in the world. Okay, we have landed on the planet. A powdery layer of yellow sulfur covers Avianton. It falls into many crevices skewed across the planet's surface. The interior of all of the Hollow's planet is revealed through these fissures, which offer a spectacular view to the Avian's crew. It is unlike anything we've seen. Study the core. Had great difficulty establishing a study protocol of the planet's core. After multiple attempts, conclusions indicate that the huge center sphere interacts with elementary particles, including bosons and forest technoids. In a selective and unproductive manner, 10 previous unknown elementary particles have been identified. Data from the element's core analysis will pave the way for new scientific and technological models for years to come. Study the surface. Administrator. Here for the Scientific Syndicate of Sector 1. So, good news and bad news. The good news is that we found a solution to permanently solve the Parnassus problem. Now that we've finally reached a viable exoplanet, the Tycoon has no further purpose. As such, we propose the following. While preparations are being made for colonization, the Tycoon sectors should be filled with batteries. Once they are charged and the crew ready for exit, a flight path will be plotted for the Tycoon to crash into the Parnassus. According to our calculations and based off our recent experiences within the PSR B-1257 system, igniting the stored power should be enough to destroy the BMS warship. Now for the bad news. Only you can command the Tycoon systems. If we were to disconnect you, you will have to be on board the Tycoon when it crashes. I'm sorry. We could try using a copy of the protagonist PAs to direct the Tycoon through its last moments. So we're replacing the AI. Build enough batteries to cover an area of 1,000 tiles. Okay. I can do that. That easy. That real easy. Sector 3 is now the bomb sector. The matter possessed an altered state. The surface of the planet contains many isotopes previously thought impossible. Many of our theoretical models have been called into question following the discoveries made. Unfortunately, the planet's surface is extremely fragile. Any further long-term expeditions remain unviable. Leave the planet. So let's see, the atmosphere is very thin and toxic. Viable particles hang suspended within it and move in the light winds of the planet. Impressively vast quantities of diamond encrust Lucera's surface. The thin atmosphere will provide little protection. We have chosen a study location that rarely experiences direct exposure to the solar system. Any increase of the surface temperature could jeopardize this team's safety. I guess, sure, why not, right? Is he coming? Is the Parnassus moving? I honestly can't tell. The syndicate site has finished it. Agricultural systems are operational. The infirmary is ready and stocked, and research labs have been set up with all the necessary equipment. We have completed more than half of the work required to successfully colonize Romulus. Okay, the Parnassus is definitely moving. Very, very, very slowly, but it's moving. We're almost halfway there for batteries. Construction of the Ashlican site has been completed. A multi-factory will allow us to transform the raw materials from Romulus into reusable resources. The vehicle storage bay and technical maintenance rooms are operational. The first human city on Romulus has just been born. Alright, so now we gotta train 2,000 more colonists and construct 20 shuttles? Oh. Door. that's 12. 20. Look at that. Look at this little ship. Isn't that neat? Holy cow, I never noticed how many. Look how many people we have. We have 5,488 people on our station. Launch coordinators have been set up. They've identified the presence of technology on the planet, and the reports contain a great excitement about new potential discoveries, Vol jump theory, and for his work on matter deterioration. However, we have received a concerning message from infrastructure's dedicated PA warning that team's behavior is becoming unusual. Those security protocols recommend an immediate conclusion to the mission. Continue, I don't care at this point. F it. At some point within its lifespan, Lucura was exposed to strong gravitational electromagnetic forces as well as nuclear radiation. The team has put forward 2 explanatory theories. The first identifies Ida's transformation into a white dwarf as the cause of this exposure. The second derives from the work of Furs and Barjaville. It posts that the existence of one or more entities within a self-similar space, entities that could or may interact with our material plane, would result in abbreviations of the fundamental forces of nature. On the cusp of a true discovery, the team has requested further time to be invested in their studies. Go for it. Go for it. I don't effing care, man. You do you, I do me. We are no longer receiving transmissions from the team. Beyond behavior of the analysis of the final communication, the team signs of unhealthy fascination and self-destruction tendencies before enacting what would be referred to as the descent to other gods. The team transmitted file package of study data. Okay. The study team of Lightbulb discovered the existence of a second, much smaller and denser core of Numitor. Self-similar space particles were also detected, and the team proposed that there was no correlation between the presence of these particles and the strong geothermal activity of the planet. Yeah, we don't have enough batteries. Big sad. I really thought we'd have enough of that. Charge batteries. Fly Tycoon into Para via the planetary system map. With all my people on board? Okay.
Administrator, if you are listening to this message, it means the Tycoon has reached its destination, despite the unpredictable parameters that framed the equation of its journey. The crew have found a new home, whether the one planned for or another. These survivors have already begun to lay the foundations of a new cradle, where creativity, invention, and joy can bloom again. Perhaps you already understand why I insisted, why the mission launch was precipitated. When I discovered that the lunicalism was inevitable, I also understood that any attempt to save our species after this would have been doomed to fail.
Wait.
You took the helm in the only launch window available to us. Thanks to you, our efforts, our mistakes, our sins and sacrifices will sink into oblivion, into the past, while the first pages are written for a newly born humanity.
We did it, guys! Was the CEO implying that he knew that there was going to be the whole incident with the moon? Because he kind of implied it a little bit. But that is it, everyone. That is Ixion. What a fantastic game. It had a little bit of a rough difficulty curve initially at the beginning when it released. But I'm glad we came back to it with the new difficulty settings. And we didn't seem to really struggle too hard, so maybe it made it a little bit too favorable towards myself. But that's okay. We still did a really good job. And I really enjoyed it. The only criticism I'll have to say is I feel like that they didn't really use the voice lines of the actors or all that much. You know, Eden talked to us occasionally, and I feel like there were some missed opportunities. Why didn't Eden say anything about Romulus until, you know, they were basically shut it down? Why didn't, you know, you didn't say anything when we got to the planet. Be like, oh, I lied. Actually, here's why you shouldn't colonize this planet. Kudos to the voice actor that played the Parnesis. That was, oh my god. And the audio engineer. Gotta give him credit too, because holy cow. I would have loved to heard it more. I would have loved to hear it taunt us a bit more. Also, Parnesis didn't seem to do anything in the final chapter, which is kind of, I would have liked to have seen if it would have just attacked us. I understand we kind of destroyed its systems, but it was just kind of like a dead duck. It's like, oh yeah, it's there. Hi. How you doing? Hi. And since we finished so early, we will go back, choose the other ending, which is just merging with the people on the other planet. There's probably going to be repercussions for doing this, but I guess we'll find out. Obviously, I doubt everyone's going to agree to this. Oh wow, look at Remus. Looks like an actual, like, Earth planet this time, huh? Remus. We've received signals of 3 temples within the system. We are now able to locate them with our probes. Study the Ash technology. Here's 1. Here's 2.
Has completed a task.
Technology is greatly influenced by its terrestrial heritage, but often involves some form of genetic manipulation. Oxen are used to fertilize their fields, the tails adapted for plowing. Trees produce fruit for a considerable size. Their bark serve as food for other giant aphids-like creatures. Ashen buildings are made from cut stone, blocks, and fungus that shapes and strengthens the structure over time. Their scientists point out watchbirds that serve as outlooks and communicate in ultrasound. We have completed a detailed report that contains the knowledge of the Ash as shared with us. Alright. We have found the Temple of Merit, which has manifested its presence so that our sensors can locate it. The structure is emitting weak electromagnetic signals that are barely perceptible. Despite the fact that it appears abandoned, the temple is still powered. This is Archimedes' team. We have docked at the Temple of Merit. We have saw an inscription written in several languages on one of the temple walls. By the instructions, they were able to locate one of the 3 bioengineering center blueprints. Explore and study the temple. Minister, in this scenario, where there is no longer any life on board the Tycoon, I am authorized as the PA of this station to lead it to its end. Oh, the team discovered an object that apparently contains all the technological knowledge and theories of the Ash. Purposely, this knowledge would change our accepted understanding of reality. We never know, as the crew appear to have killed each other, fighting over who should be credited with the discovery. The team was sent back to Tycoon via autopilot. So the ship was sent back, okay.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Head over to the Temple of Common Sense, and then the Temple of Free Will is last. Alright. This is the team. We have docked the Temple of Common Sense. We came across an inscription winding around the temple column. It was written in several languages. We enclosed here the illusion of common sense, a moral habit with origins lost in the darkness of the minds that wield it. The scientific method has repeatedly shown how counterintuitive reality is. We must strip common sense away, leaving only empathy and protagonism in their purest forms. These 2 models will then find their right place. Explore and study the temple. Sure, why not? Why don't I just kill everyone on the team?
An accident has occurred in the depleted attack.
The crew has decided to remove their helmets and die in the Temple of Common Sense. They say that space is no place for humanity and refuse to become Ash people. According to them, ending themselves there was the only thing to do. Can't wait to see the Temple of Free Will. I wonder how everyone's going to kill themselves there. We've docked at the Temple of Free Will. There's an inscription in the temple in our courtyard, written in several languages. Here we lock up the illusion of free will. This fictional narrative prevents us from seeing what we are and what we can do. There is no choice because the motives that lead us to choose pre-exist the choice. Define directions, located the room, 1 to 3 points, the bioenergy sphere. Yep. Okay, let's explore the temple and watch them all die. Team is now responding to our hails before comms break down. The team has started to act differently. Ceasing the following recommended Dolus protocol, they have seemed to have disappeared into the depths of the temple. Oh. Alright. Well, I guess they didn't officially die. Gotta get the blueprints, then build, I guess, the,
Happy New Year, Administrator.
This thing is massive. Holy mother of pearl. Where the hell am I gonna put this thing? We don't really need to make this stuff anymore. I'm also gonna have to get rid of the drone bay. There we go, it's being built. Ten cycles. Initiate adaptation. Now, luckily over here we have quite the storage for waste production. The body parts and stuff that weren't needed. That's what all the waste is. Are my sectors become less human? Sure are. This population just dropped like crazy.
Warning. A sector is being overworked.
Yep. It's pulling from everywhere. We are losing people like crazy. This thing is killing people. It ain't transforming crap. Or it's teleporting them to the planet. I don't know, however you want to think of it. Either way, they're not on board the Tycoon anymore. 100%. What is it doing? What about everyone else that's on the ship? It just dropped it.
Administrator, if you are listening to this message, it means the Tycoon has reached its destination, despite the unpredictable parameters that framed the equation of its journey. The crew have found a new home, whether the one planned for or another. These survivors have already begun to lay the foundations of a new cradle, where creativity, invention, and joy can bloom again.
Oh, they do have power. They do have electricity.
Perhaps you already understand why I insisted, why the mission launch was
That's
precipitated.
not at all how they made it
When I
sound.
discovered that
So in the end, the choice really didn't matter all that much. I also would have liked to see some more resistance from the crew for joining one or the other. But there would have been a great place to introduce some conflict to make the last chapter a little bit more interesting, right? I would have liked to have seen more dialogue with Eden towards the end when I shut her down or when I didn't shut her down. Like, I don't know. There's just some small stuff where they had opportunity and potential to expand on it more and they just didn't. But anyways, this was Ixion. I hope everyone enjoyed. Thank you everyone so for watching. My name's GhJared and I hope to see you in the next live stream. Until then. Bye bye everyone, have a good night!